Okay, so this video we're going to call operation of drive control, specifically with the head array, going through the operation of the head array, including the drive functions and menu usage and seating operations. So first of all, let's assume that the chair is turned off. There is two ways to turn the chair on. The first option is here at this joystick, because this particular joystick does have one, so that is that power button right there. And then also on the Omni screen we have a power button here. So we're going to turn this unit on here. You'll notice there on the screen there it is in attendant mode, so that is the joystick that is here at the back of the chair. So I now have drive functions through this joystick. To transfer control to the head array would be through this button here, which is the speed down button. So you'll notice these lights will change as I do that. And also you'll see on the joystick, on the Omni display, that we have the input has changed. Now currently on the head array is not turned on. There is a switch on this unit right here, and when I hit this switch the red light comes on. Once you're giving control to the chair, or if a chair is being turned on, one thing you must note is that the either pads, these two left or right and the back pads, there cannot be interference on that switch. So my apologies. If the chair is turned off and I have an interference or an activated back switch, we'll see an error code come up. This will flash for 5 seconds, and we have to neutralize the switches, so that meaning making not contact with those switches. If it does, the chair will go into an error code, and the chair will have to be turned off. So this particular chair has been set up with a 3-switch head array. So we have the 3 switches here at the back, and a user switch here as well. In this case we also have a standby mode turned on. In this chair it's a 5-second timer. To come out of that standby time, you can either press and hold this one switch, and then after 5 seconds we'll notice that this standby time will come back on. Now you'll note that if I hit the back pad, nothing is happening in this case. So this gives the client the ability to rest. Then if we need to come out, again I mentioned there's 2 ways. One is to press and hold this user switch. The second option is a double tap on that switch. Okay. Once we have control, the use of the pads mean that I can turn the chair left or right or drive it. And this back pad is a dual function. So if I press that back pad right now, it's indicated that it will go forward. To reverse that direction, I'm going to do a single depression of that user switch, and you'll notice that it goes into a reverse direction. The user switch is a multi-function switch. Not only is it going to change my direction, if I do a double click on that, it will also take me into a menu mode. This menu mode gives me the ability to increase my speed values, and you'll notice that on my screen I have 2 arrows. I have a left arrow and a right arrow, so I can infinitely move that position by hitting left or right, matching the direction of the arrow. To go down in my menu structure, I just press the back pad. Okay. Once I find the feature that I want, I'm really just going to follow my arrows. So in this case, to go into seating mode, following my arrow, I press the right pad, which takes me into seating mode. Again, with seating mode, you'll notice that there is an arrow in the top corner that gives us an indication of what direction the actuator will move. So by pressing in this case it's set up that the left pad toggles that arrow. So you'll see me hit this left pad, it toggles my arrow. So now if I press and hold that back pad, I will come out of tilt. If I change my direction to reverse and press and hold this function, it now starts to tilt in the direction of the arrow. If I need to change my function between forward and reverse, I would hit my right pad, to a different seat function. So we're going from tilt and elevation back to tilt, back to elevation, being the only two functions that are on this chair. Again, if I want to move that function, I put my arrow in the direction as desired and press and hold that left pad. This has been set up in a way that pressing the back pad in seating mode doesn't do anything, because if a client is tilted, gravity will win and they will want to rest their head, so that back pad has been deactivated. To cycle out of seating mode and going back to drive mode, we will do a double click on this joystick, shortcuts us back to drive mode. If we also wanted the ability for the user to turn the chair off, press and hold the switch, and what you'll find is that after a programmed amount of time, the chair will go into a sleep mode and you'll see the sleep signal come up on the chair. What this does is in many ways it turns the chair off, but if we have a look at the head array unit, we'll notice that there is still this red light on, giving power to the head array, specifically the switch here, the user switch. So for the client to do so, just tap that switch and the chair will wake itself up. Again,